Hey guys, so over the last 4 years, I've built several tech businesses and learned some invaluable lessons along the way, from launching products to scaling operations to everything in between, and I've seen what works and what doesn't. So whether you're starting your first tech company or you're in the trenches building your next big thing, the insights I'll share today can save you time, money, and frustration. Stick around for more real-world examples from successful founders, as well as the key lessons that I really had to go through a lot to learn in my own journey. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that discomfort is a catalyst for growth. We often think that getting out of our comfort zones is something we should avoid, but in the world of tech and startups, it's really where all the magic happens. Think about it, right? Take Reed Hastings, for example, the co-founder of Netflix. In the early days, Netflix started as a DVD rental service. So when streaming technology started to emerge, Hastings faced major discomfort. Transitioning Netflix into a streaming service was a huge risk. Blockbuster was one of the biggest companies, it was dominant, and the technology wasn't fully trusted yet. By embracing the discomfort of change, Hastings led Netflix through a successful pivot, turning it into the streaming giant that we know today. For me, the transition from working on smaller freelance projects to launching my own HR tech platform was really scary. I didn't know if the product was going to resonate with users, and leaving the stability of client work for a self-built product was a huge leap. But it was through those uncomfortable moments that I gained the most insight into what it means to create something that scales. So remember, growth happens only outside of your comfort zone. If you feel comfortable, you're not really learning. It's only when it sucks, when you're going through the dirt, when something's painful, that's when you're learning. So embrace it, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, right? Embrace the challenges because they are usually where the biggest transformations and breakthroughs lie in your life. In the tech world, problem solving is your most valuable skill. It's not about how many programming languages you know or how fancy your product is. What really matters is how well can you seamlessly solve the real problems that your users are facing. The perfect example is Brian Chesky, the co-founder of Airbnb. Chesky and his co-founders, they didn't set out to build a massive hospitality platform like Airbnb today. They were just three guys who had trouble paying their rent, and their first idea was renting out air mattresses in their living room. It wasn't glamorous, but it solved a real problem for both themselves and their first customers. That scrappy problem-solving mindset helped them later when scaling Airbnb into a global platform used by millions of people. When I first worked on my coding bootcamp, Sigma School, I learned firsthand how critical problem solving really was. We initially thought our students just needed more technical content, but we quickly realized that their bigger problem was the confidence in real-world coding challenges and projects. So we shifted our focus to include more hands-on projects and mentorship, and also focus more on helping get employers in to speak to our students to give them the confidence that, hey, you have the skills to solve real-world problems that are being faced by real-world companies today. So we solved a pressing issue for our students and users, and that's when things really started to click. So the tools and languages are important, but the real value here really comes from how effective can you really solve a user's problem. The next thing I want to talk about is imposter syndrome. It's something every founder pretty much deals with, no matter how successful they've become. Even Sheryl Sandberg, the CEO of Facebook, has admitted to feeling like she doesn't belong at the top, despite her incredible track record. The difference is she learned to acknowledge the feeling and just keep going anyway. So when I first launched Jobyear, my HR platform that automates job applications, I constantly questioned whether I was doing enough. Was my product good enough, right? Should I add XYZ more features? Was I really the right person to build this? But the truth really is, imposter syndrome never fully goes away. No matter how many years you have under your belt, the key is to keep learning to manage it by focusing on the progress that you've made and the value that you're delivering. Think about it, everyone really feels like imposters, so just focus on problem solving, and over time, when you stack enough success stories, you stack enough proof that you have what it takes to be good, then you should be good to go. Because it's undeniable, right? You got the proof that you've done it. There's nothing to be an imposter about. Next, let's talk about taking risk. I think taking risk is a part of being an entrepreneur. Every success stories you hear is filled with a lot of moments of scary moments of a founder taking a gamble and it paid off, right? Think about Elon Musk, who took the massive risk of investing all the money he earned from PayPal into Tesla and SpaceX. At one point, he was so close to running out of funds that both companies were on the verge of collapse. But by taking that risk, Musk revolutionized multiple industries and changed the world. In my own journey, I had the opportunity to work for larger, more established companies that would have paid significantly more than my early startup ventures. I turned it all down because I knew the only way to really grow was to bet on myself. And that decision wasn't easy, but it let me really fully commit to my vision and tell myself, it's time to burn the boats, right? There's no backup, there's no plan B, I just got to make it work. And this opened up doors to partnerships and clients and people that I would never have reached if I played it safe. To be honest, don't need to wait until you're 100% ready, until all the stars are aligned in business, in a startup entrepreneurship. You thrive when you're in the unknown. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that long-term thinking will beat short-term thinking every single time. It's sometimes quite tempting to chase quick gains, like launching new features to get a sudden spike in users or taking on clients that doesn't align with your long-term goals. But the most successful businesses are the ones that are built to last. Look at Jeff Bezos, for example, and Amazon. When Amazon started, it wasn't about making profits immediately. It was about building infrastructure that could sustain massive growth over the long haul. He sacrificed sacrifice a lot of short-term profits to dominate e-commerce in the long run, and that's exactly what happened. In my own business, I focused on creating sustainable models, even if that meant sacrificing short-term revenue. For instance, in my full-stack software development agency, we chose not to take on certain clients that didn't align with our core expertise, even though they would have been profitable, I think, in the short run. This focus on long-term fit really helps us build stronger client relationships and repeat business, which is much more valuable than a quick payout. So don't get distracted by short-term wins. Make sure to build with the long-term in mind, and you will definitely see greater rewards. I promise you that. Next would be the most overlooked lessons is probably in building systems and processes. You can't grow if you're stuck handling every little task manually on your own. They are successful because they've built efficient systems and processes to run in place. Tony Sief from Zappos was a master of systems. He created an operational model that allowed Zappos to scale rapidly while still maintaining excellent customer service. By building strong internal systems, they managed to grow into an e-commerce giant while keeping their customers happy. So in my own experience with Sigma School, we automated pretty much everything from onboarding clients to onboarding students to onboarding our staffs, right? This freed us so much time to delivering value in the classroom and on the end goal of the students, which is eventually to learn code in 3 months and to get a job. So everything besides achieving that goal will be automated by us so that we can focus our time on doing what really matters. And in my software development agency, automation tools like Zapier has helped us streamline a lot of client communication, invoicing, project management, and it allows us to take on so much more projects without hiring more people. So the takeaway here is if you want to scale, build systems that work without you. Automation will save you time and help you focus on what truly matters, which is growing the business and serving your clients. So after 4 years of building tech businesses, these are the 6 key lessons that I've learned. Just make sure to embrace discomfort, focus on problem solving, manage imposter syndrome, take calculated risk, build for the long term, and use systems and automation to scale. I hope these insights can help you in your own entrepreneurial journey. If you've got any questions, just drop it in the comments. I would love to help and speak to you. Thank you. See ya.